How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sick Eric TV, and today I'm going to be doing 8 reasons why you shouldn't get the Samsung Galaxy S21 Fan Edition. As you know, I did a video not too long ago on reasons why you should get it, and I said I would follow up on reasons why you shouldn't get it. Now, these reasons, there aren't as many reasons why you shouldn't get it as they are that you should get it, but I still will go over these reasons on why I think maybe you should maybe hold off or maybe get something else. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon. That way you get notified in future videos just like this one you're about to watch today. So reason number one is going to be the timing of this release. Now this should have been released in October of 2021. And last year, the S20 was released. The S20 FE was released around that time. And that made it more compatible and more of a better deal compared to the regular S20 of earlier that year, because it gives you a cheaper option of the more expensive phone, 6 months later. Well, this phone got released nearly a year after the S21 series did, and that was really bad timing because just around the corner we got the S22 series coming out, and granted those might be a lot more expensive, but you might want to wait or even try to get a regular S21 or S21 Plus and skip the S21 Fan Edition. So reason number two would probably be the Snapdragon 888 processor already being outdated. Now this processor, of course, we know came out last year, and this is last year's Snapdragon version processor. So coming into 2022, everything is going to be the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is an upgrade from the 888. And this phone was the first phone, technically from Samsung, to get released in 2022 without that processor. So the Snapdragon 888 is already an outdated processor compared to as if it would have came out last year. Then it would have been the same as the S21 series. It'd be like, hey, look, we're releasing a cheaper device with the same flagship processor as its flagship big brothers. But now, this being released a year later, it sort of makes the Snapdragon 888 outdated and a little obsolete. It's still a great processor, don't get me wrong, but still coming into 2022, we're going to be seeing a lot of different devices come out with the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. If you're coming from last year's S20 Fan Edition, there was no micro SD card support on the S21 Fan Edition, and as we all know, Samsung's removing SD cards on all other devices, which I think is a bad move. But last year's S20 Fan Edition did offer micro SD card support, so keep that in mind if you want to upgrade to this year's Fan Edition. There is no micro SD card support, so you're going to have to deal with either the 128 storage or spend a little bit more money and get the 256 storage. So the haptic engine on here, or the motor, is not as good and as premium as the ones you get on the S21, 21 Plus, and especially the Ultra. It is not that bad of a haptic motor, but still it is not as solid and nice feeling as it is on those. So if you're really into haptics and typing on your device and having that satisfaction, it's not going to be as satisfying on the S21 Fan Edition as it is on others, but it's not that bad. But you will notice a difference if you're coming from either one of those, or like for me, I use the S21 Plus a lot, and coming from that to this, I definitely notice a weaker vibration, and it's not as nice and smooth feeling as it is on the S21 series. It's going to be the plastic back. Now, a lot of people might like that it has a plastic back, but something over around $6.99 and up should have a nice premium glass back. Now, while this plastic back is a lot better as compared to like the A series of Samsung's phones. It's still plastic, and I think that we should be getting some glass backs, especially on the Pixel 6. That phone costs $599, and it's giving us Gorilla Glass on the back. So as far as cost goes, they could have given us a regular glass back instead of giving us a plastic back, especially at this price point on the device, but not a huge deal, just throwing it out there. RAM on here, so this device starts off at 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 storage. You can get the higher RAM, I believe it's $50 more, but I think they should have started off at 8 gigabytes of RAM on here and then given us the different options as far as storage goes instead of only giving us 6 gigabytes. I think six gigabytes is barely enough to run a device nice enough, especially like Samsung. They require a lot more. Now, while performance on here has actually been pretty good, it's just a little bit slower than the S21 Plus, and that has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Of course, you know, you could go up higher on the S21 series, but I think this would have been really, really nice and perfect if it started off at 8 and then just give us the different options as far as storage. Don't start off at 6 and only give us one option for that storage and then go up higher and give us 8. It should have started off at 8. Now I know last year's S20 Fan Edition started off at 6 with an 8 gigabyte variant as well, but they should have upped it a little bit and given us just a little bit more RAM. I mean, come on, how much more expensive can it be just to add RAM? We're talking about cents here. Just to add a couple of gigs of RAM, it's not that serious. They should have added just a little bit more. So next is going to be the telephoto camera on here. It is only a 8 megapixel telephoto camera compared to the 64 megapixel you get on the S21, S21 Plus, and you also get that periscopic lens on the S21 Ultra. Now, photos on here, not much of a difference as far as quality goes, but you're going to get just a little bit better photos on the S21's 64 megapixel compared to the 8. Now, Samsung did do a good job with their processing to make the photos still come out really good at 8 megapixels, and I'll be showing you some pictures on here with 10 times zoom and 30 times zoom compared to the S21 Plus and see if you guys know the difference. But I think Samsung did pretty good with the processing, but still you get a lower quality telephoto camera on the FE than you do on the regular S21 series, S21 Plus, and especially the Ultra. So something to consider. Not much of a big deal. I just thought I would throw it on there. Last on the list is going to be the price. Now, $699, a lot of people saying it is what it is. This is what Samsung charged. Now, it's technically the same as last year's S20 Fan Edition, but I think to compete, especially nowadays, with phones being really cheap and coming out with excellent specs, the Pixel being one of them, starting off at $599, and I think this phone should have started off at least $599, maybe $650, but $699 going on up if you get the different RAM and storage variants. I think it's just a little bit higher than the competition, and I think if they really wanted to sell these and get them out, they should have lowered the price, especially compared to the Pixel. That is a great device, and it only starts off at $599, guys. You get a lot of bang for your buck for the Pixel 6, and there's a lot of other different devices you could get for a little bit cheaper. So Samsung should have started this a little bit lower. I'm pretty sure we'll get some deals on this once the S22 drops, so hopefully this goes down. I'm pretty sure you could get a whole bunch of trade-in deals. But as far as the base price, $699, this is a T-Mobile variant. They only give you the 6 gigabyte 128 storage option on here. So going back to the RAM, if they had started off with 8 gigs of RAM, at least with T-Mobile we would have gotten 8 gigabytes 128 instead of just giving us the lower model of this device on T-Mobile. So with that being said, those are the reasons why you shouldn't get the S21 Fan Edition and maybe wait for the S22 to see what that offers. But then again, that phone is going to be higher than it was last year, so definitely think about that one. I don't know what Samsung is doing. Or should you get last year's S20 Fan Edition if you want that micro SD card support, or just spend about $100 more and get a regular S21 or even a used S21 Plus, which will give you a better build quality. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you did. Click that like button. It helps with the channel if you enjoyed this video. Even if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It'll still help. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.